Well, here we are in the month of August, and the Phillies find themselves in first place of the National League East as we begin just a brief four-game series here in Philadelphia against the Marlins. It's alumni weekend. That guy will be here, and a bunch of guys from the 2008 World Championship. NBC Sports Philadelphia, the home of the authentic fan, presents the Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies. So the August schedule looks like this. The Phillies have 14 home games, and then they have 12 road games. Then they have the neutral site game in Williamsport, where the Phillies will be the home team. They have 15 games within the division, so maybe they can put some space between themselves and the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. Now, that sounds all good that they can put themselves, give themselves some space between their spot in the division and the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies haven't played all that well against the National League East, including against the Marlins.
Yeah, it's amazing what you see when they play teams in our division. I mean, look at these numbers. We looked at these numbers. We can't figure out how the Phillies aren't 9-0 against the Marlins. Every number is in favor of the Philadelphia Phillies. Starters ERA, bullpen ERA. How do we lose games? Well, the Marlins have been very good at taking advantage of our mistakes when we make them against them, and they capitalize on them, and that's what Nick Pivetta has to guard against. He pitched great in April, an early start April against these Marlins, had every pitch working like he was apt to do in March and April. Since then, it's been a struggle, though, but we need this Nick Pivetta. Yes, he had 12 strikeouts his last start against the Cincinnati Reds. All fine and good, but he let up 5 runs. Also, he needs to keep their bats at bay. That way we can go about scoring runs the way we go about scoring runs, with the long ball, and hopefully take advantage of some of the Marlins' weak pitching.
Well, you look at those numbers, as John mentioned, June, July, his earned run average is 6.70. John mentioned the last start against the Reds. Yeah, he did have 12 strikeouts, but he hung a couple of big pitches, one for a 3-run home run and the other one for an RBI single off the bat of Scooter Gennett. So we look back this weekend at 2008 and hopefully look forward to a playoff spot in 2018. It'll be Pivetta on the mound against Pablo Lopez. Lineups at first pitch between the Phils and the Marlins. Coming up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. By Toyota, the national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. homestand. That's it. Then the Phillies head out west on Sunday night, but it's a special weekend because it's a alumni weekend. And it'll start out tomorrow, basically. We'll talk to Greg Dobbs a little later on. He's here in town. And the Phils hope to get a few wins this weekend against these Miami Marlins, who, as we said in the open, have been pretty tough against the Phillies so far this year. Let's take a look at the Marlins lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Well, JT Realmuto, he is the real deal. In fact, he's their foundation piece right there in the middle of the order. He's one of the best catchers in baseball defensively and offensively, and has hit in 7 consecutive games. And they'll face Pivetta. Nick is 6-9 on the year, and this is 22nd start, his 23rd game overall. 134 strikeouts. There's no doubting Johnny's a strikeout pitcher. It's just the tough pitches that he's left up in the zone the last couple starts.
Yeah, that's been an issue with Nick. Look, do you expect every pitcher to go out and have perfect location with every pitch? If it would, Tom, it wouldn't be fun for any hitter.
That's right.
So, but it just seems like more so with Nick than any others is when he makes a mistake, it gets pounded pretty hard. But hopefully, he has good memories in his head about pitching against the Marlins early in the season. And when you see his numbers against the Marlins, not good. 2-1 record, but ERA of almost 6.5. But you look at this Marlins team, everyone thinks, well, they traded their entire outfield, but they're still got a lot of veteran hitters who know how to work an at bat. So it's no cakewalk when you play a team like this.
Saw the cloud cover out above. There are some storms in the area. The first pitch to Dietrich is taken outside. We're underway, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Dietrich 1 for 6 of the series against the Braves. The Marlins were rained out yesterday. That's why Lopez pitches tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dietrich overall 277. He's had a pretty good year, 13 home runs. He's an infielder who's playing outfield. That one's looped out toward right center field, and Williams got a late start, and it's off his glove and backed up by Herrera. And they'll hold Dietrich at first base. Well, they had the shift on, and it was lined up where Williams could make the catch, but he kind of curled back.
Yeah, he thought the ball was hit harder. He was taking a more route to try to cut off the gap. I mean, you see where Nick is right here. Oh, I got a lot of circles. Looks like the Olympics, but. And then when the pitch is thrown, Dietrich gets jammed. But look where Nick's route. He took 2 or 3 steps back to his right and then had to try to circle in to make the catch. If he takes a direct route to the ball, he makes that play. But he sometimes it is difficult to get a read off the bat when a guy has power. Dietrich has some power.
Mm-hmm.
You read it as he hit this ball in the gap. I'm going to try to keep him from a double, and consequently, the ball drops in front of you now for a single. And got this fine young hitter coming up.
Brian Anderson pops the 1-0 pitch foul just to our right in the Hall of Fame club. It's 1-1. Anderson is a fine hitter. He's got 120 hits, which is tops among National League rookies, and 5th overall. He went around. I guess that was a slider. And it's 1-2.
Well, last year he was playing third base when we saw him, and I think since they've moved him to right field, he just seems like a more comfortable, confident player.
Yeah, and he has had some games in the infield, but for the most part, he is an outfielder now, at least the way this team's structured. Fouls it back to the screen, and it remains 1-2. Don Mattingly, the skipper of the Marlins, whose team is 46-63. In 4th place, tied for 4th with the Mets. The Mets face the Braves in the start of the weekend series. That's up in New York. Fastball that runs in. Current standings have the Braves a half game behind the Phillies. And then the Nationals are 5 games back. They won again last night. Popped him up. Franco over near third base. Will make the catch.
See where Jose Reyes pitched.
Yeah, not well, but did pitch.
Yeah. What did you expect?
He hit Ryan Zimmerman with a 57-mile-an-hour fastball, I think it was.
You know Zim's getting old if he can't get out of the way of that one. Man, he should start participating in fantasy camp with us. 57 and he couldn't get out of the way?
It was 57 miles an hour.
Wow.
Real Muto has hit it 7 straight. There's a curveball and it's 0-1.
You know, I'm happy that the Marlins didn't deal Real Muto. You know, if you're going to build your team, you build it up the middle, right? And I know they got rid of their whole outfield in the offseason, but this guy's a heck of a player, man. Catcher that hits third.
Ground ball left side. Franco to second for 1. It's a nice play. He was starting to roll up his arm. So 5-4 on the putout at second. And a fielder's choice for Real Muto.
He gets one off the end of the bat, does Real Muto, and you see that ball came up on Franco just a little bit. And good play by Cesar, not wasting a throw right there. Real Muto runs well for anybody, but he is a catcher, but just get one and get out. Now, you know, make it, have to get an extra base hit to score.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin Bour is today's prototypical left-handed hitter with the prototypical left-handed hitter shift. I should say power hitter. Cesar in shallow right field. 2-1. Little topper, and it rolls foul. Pavetta's strike percentage is at 29%, which means he throws a lot of strikes. And as among starting pitchers, Pavetta is tops among the Phillies. Now that may sound surprising because Aaron Nola is such a big strike thrower. Nola's third. Out toward right center field. Odubel is there. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the first. It's the Marlins nothing and the Phillies coming up for the first time. do against the Marlins. The lineup's brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Well, as you take a look at the lineup, you see that Asdrubal Cabrera is starting at shortstop and hitting fifth. We'll talk about the reasonings around that. Jorge Alfaro has had a good run against the Marlins this year, batting eighth, hitting .255 overall, but .400 against the Fish. And they're facing Pablo Lopez, who's making his sixth start. The 22-year-old from Venezuela is not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, John. They say he's got a good idea about him and a really good changeup.
Well, and that's a pitch that could give the Phillies hitters a lot of problems. Is, you know, a pitcher with a really good changeup. But you see his numbers in the minors, 2-3 record, but his ERA was 1.44. Not a lot of run support, I'm assuming, Tom.
Yeah, and in 8 starts in Double-A, his ERA was 0.62, and he was 1-2. He had to be on a pitch count.
Apparently, numbers do lie.
Here's Cesar. Cesar was 0 for 9 in the Red Sox series, as he continues to mend from that sore foot. Hitting .265. Fly ball left field. And Dietrich near the line. And one out here in the first. That'll bring Rhys Hoskins up. Rhys provided our Geico quote of the day on the new additions. It's pretty cool of the front office to give us that vote of confidence. We're in first place. I think we're only going to get better. If we continue to develop and get better like we hope to and expect to, you sprinkle in some of the guys like Ramos that has experience, we're going to be good. We're going to be exciting. The last couple of months are going to be fun.
Well, and also it gives Gabe a lot of flexibility. You know, sometimes you see how he works his bench, and you know, he's been pinch hitting lately with Knapp for Alfaro later in the game, but now you bring in a third catcher, and you know, whenever he gets off the disabled list, and you got that flexibility coming.
Well, and Ramos talked today for the first time and said that he feels like he's closer than what was reported.
Good.
You know, he's hoping that, well, he did say that I'll be off the DL before the end of August, and he's hoping to start playing games in the next 10, 14 days. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one's out towards center field. Sierra is there. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
I can give him a hint on how to be more exciting. Speaking from experience, just put more balls in play.
I would agree with that.
That's exciting.
Now, it would have been exciting if he hit that ball into the seats.
It'd have been more, yeah, exciting if he hit it in the seat or in a gap. But strikeouts aren't that exciting.
No. Here's Odubel with a brand new bat. And he takes inside 1-0.
He's going away from the black bat?
Well, I guess for at least this AB.
I can picture him as a guy that would just grab anyone's bat. I played with someone like that.
He did that in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he just would grab anyone's bat. It didn't matter the size, the different size handles, the different lengths and weights of the bat. He would just grab someone's bat.
Yeah, he did that in Cincinnati when he broke a bat. Mike Franco jokingly handed him one of his, and he took it, and then he proceeded to break that one.
Careful what you do now.
2 balls and 1 strike to Herrera. Odubel played in one of the 2 games. It was eventful against the Red Sox. Change up, and it's 2-2. He had a scheduled day off on Tuesday and did not play at all in that Red Sox game. Gabe had said he laid out his lineup, which he normally does. Like this weekend, he's already laid out the lineup for the 4 games against the Marlins. But as he said, they are subject to change based on what happens. But he's got an idea going through the series who's going to start and where. 3-2 pitch. Off the hands. Shallow left center field. Long run for Riddle, and he can't get it. I was kind of looking to see where Dietrich was.
Dietrich on Cesar's ball looked like he was having troubles with it. He got the happy feet going. Looked like Peyton Manning in the pocket, you know, with the happy feet. But yeah, I mean, you see where Dietrich was. He started back on that ball. And, you know, that could be a Citizens Bank reputation base hit where you think if anything hitting the air is going to go out. So you take steps backwards, and you know, Riddle tried to do everything he could, but no luck. And I'm sure Odubel ain't giving that one back.
Here's Carlos Santana, 3 for 10 against the Red Sox. He takes strike 1. Carlos, 214 overall, 16 home runs, 63 runs batted in. But he is 3rd in the National League in walks. He's one of 3 players with at least 60 RBIs and 80 walks this year. The other 2 are Bryce Harper and Mike Trout.
It's raining, Tom.
Well, they did say there'd be some showers.
Rogue.
I don't know if this is a renegade storm or not.
Renegade, Rogue, Renegade.
You were here. It's been like tropical the last couple of weeks.
It's been hot.
Pulled to first. That's a foul ball. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Well, that young fella's pretty happy. Well, one of the 2 are.
I think the next foul ball that comes down to those other 3 ain't going to be flying down them steps.
Odubel is picked off, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. We'll go to the second. It's the Marlins nothing and the Phillies nothing. Includes 6 of the remaining home games in 2018, postseason ticket access, and a pre-sale opportunity for potential to purchase 2 postseason home games. Order your pack now by going to Phillies.com or call 215-463-1000. Center field. That ball is well struck by Castro, but Odubel's there. 1 pitch, 1 away. And Martin Prado's coming in. Coming up, let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, I'll give you your good feeling stat of the day. And it's very interesting when you stop and think about the long history of the Philadelphia Phillies. 12 times they have entered the month of August with a lead in their division in first place. They are there now. Only 2 times in those 12 times, back in '64 and again in '82, did the team not make the postseason after being in first place on August 1st. That is what we are right now. That is where they sit right now. So certainly history would tell you that chances of making it to the postseason are pretty good. So hopefully this becomes just another one in those long lines of teams that were leading on August 1st and take it right into the postseason.
Yeah, 08, 09, and 2011, the last times. And that's that shows an awful lot. It's nice to just be in this position right now. A half game up, 5 up over the Nationals. There's a fastball to Prado.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the great prognosticators would have believed this.
I also saw where the Phillies' odds of making it to the World Series have become increasingly better with the way they've played. Took a while. 3 balls and 1 strike to Prado. And Gabe continued to say even today about the team, just all the young players just taking another step, just keep taking a step, getting better. And he has felt like they've gotten better with some additions like Cabrera, Roman Quinn,
yeah,
Aaron Loop.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you look at this team, Reese is just, after he came off the disabled list in the second half of the season after the All-Star game, Reese has been really good, but he could have been a lot better early. It could have helped win a few more games. Nick Williams wasn't playing a whole lot. He could have been better. Santana could be. That's what I mean. It's not like they're playing. Everyone's playing beyond expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If they were playing wherever we thought they would, like I thought Cesar would be a 280, 290 hitter. Yeah, we think Odubel should win a batting title some year. Kingery's not been great offensively. When you look at this team, they could, if everyone was playing to their capabilities, they might be further ahead. But
yeah,
you have to be just tickled if you're a Phillies fan that they're where they are right now.
I would agree with that. Here's JT Riddle. He'll take a fastball for a strike as the rain starts to fall a little bit harder. Larry Vanover's discussing it with Freddie Gonzalez, the third base coach. Fly ball right field, and Williams dancing back to the track is under it, and that'll wrap up the second inning. A 1-2-3 second for Nick Pivetta. 9 pitches for the Phil's right-hander. We played 1.5. We'll go to the bottom of the second. It's the Phillies nothing and the Marlins nothing. As we prepare for the Phils to hit. Well, Matt, this is always a busy, well, I guess every time's a busy time of the year for a GM, but this is an even busier time as you cruise past the trade deadline, but now you get into the month of August, and it's busy for the scouts. It's busy for you guys in the front office. A lot of numbers being thrown in, a lot of information being thrown in.
It really is a great exercise to go through, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side of things, because it really forces you to evaluate what your team, what do you need, what are you looking to do, and then, you know, as the case was this year, you know, we had to decide what we wanted to trade from our system. Obviously, we didn't really want to trade anything, but if we were going to make trades, you know, who were players that, you know, we were untouchable, and who were guys we were willing to talk about, and it really just forces the involvement of, you know, your pro scouts, your player development people, your analysts, really everybody. And I will add on top of that, you know, our amateur scouts and our international scouts were the ones that were responsible for bringing a lot of these guys into the organization. So it really does encompass just about every facet of baseball operations.
Nice, though, being a buyer this year, huh?
That's a lot more fun. There we go. It's coming up our way.
Well, you got it if it comes in here.
I don't know about that. You were the Gold Glove first baseman.
Yeah, right.
But you did make moves to help improve this team. Are you happy with the way the team sits right now as far as personnel goes?
Yeah, it's August. We're in first place. Hard not to feel good about it. Get down, ball. We feel really good about the way we played. Again, particularly when you consider that this team, that our roster has been the youngest in baseball for the first 4 months. Have there been growing pains? Yeah, absolutely there have. But to be where we are today is great, and it really put us in the position to go out and be a buyer, kind of like John was saying.
Well, you know, we were discussing it. You know, if you're a half game up, I don't think any of the great prognosticators picked the Phillies to be in first place August 2nd. But, you know, when you look at this team, Reese struggled a great first month and a half, then he struggled. You know, if he continues on a more, you know.
Oh, man. That's a nice double play. There's not much you can do about that.
But a more consistent course. If Scott Kingery played to what Scott's potential would be, and others, you know, you would think, you know, this is not like a flash in the pan type thing, like, oh my gosh, how are they doing it? This is a team that can sustain this for years and years.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming into the season, one of the big challenges we had was projecting what this group of young players would do. Just not because we didn't like them or not because they weren't talented, just because they don't have long major league track records. So it's hard to project how they'll do. It turns out a bunch of them are having pretty good years. Not perfect, like you're saying, not necessarily consistent every single day, but pretty good. And when you combine enough young player performances like that, and you do get the hot streaks to go with it, you know, like Nick's been in for the last couple months, Franco's on deck, what he's been doing for the last month, you ride those, and that's, you know, that's a big reason why we're in first place.
And I think that's the biggest thing with this team. When, you know, when Reese was struggling, Odubel was unbelievable.
Right.
So he helped carry what Reese was struggling at. You know, now Nick, and like you said, Nick and Mikel are picking up other guys who are struggling. And that's how you sustain winning streaks and stay in first place.
It's good team baseball.
Well, Matt, as you said, we're in first place. You do like what Ramos will eventually add for the team?
Yeah, I think he's going to add an offensive dynamic to us behind the plate that we haven't really seen this year. We love our two young guys, but he's a difference maker.
And we'll see Luke, maybe even see Luke tonight. National League East teams, a lot of lefties, and that's something that Gabe wants to match up against. Matt, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again down the road.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. John, the question is, what two Phillies are tied for second behind Ryan Howard for most home runs in one season against the Marlins? Against the Marlins. Answer will be revealed in just a little bit. I think you're going to have some extra time if this rain continues to fall the way it is.
Oh, thanks. I'm assuming that since it's the 2008 reunion weekend, we're going to go with mostly those players.
Well, I wouldn't assume anything. Can't assume anything in the game of baseball, John, or in the game of Ram Truck Stump the Fans. They need a poncho or another one. 0-2 pitch.
I got those two first.
Nope.
Oh, boy.
Tarp is uncovered, but it's been uncovered for most of the day. Tarp was on the field for a lot of today. Ground ball foul.
Oh, man.
Urania is thinking, no, here comes the Tarp. They just couldn't wait any longer. I mean, it's coming down. And Larry Vanover had hoped it would just be a passing shower. But as it turns out, we are going to get covered up here at Citizens Bank Park. So Pivetta will head out, and hopefully this isn't too long of a rain delay. As we said, there are showers that are in the area, and we can resume baseball in the very near future. They're going to get the field covered up as it comes down. I think we're going to be fighting this for the next couple of days, just as we have been for the last several weeks. So we're in a rain delay here at Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies and the Marlins are scoreless.
Uh-oh.
All right, what's the matter?
I hit the brakes.
Well, it got a little heavy.
Mike DeMuzio's out there right now. He'll get it rolling.
Look out, everybody. Look out, everybody.
Hey.
All right, we are all covered up here at Citizens Bank Park. As we mentioned, hopefully this is not that long of a delay and we can get back to baseball and not lose the starting pitchers for tonight's game. Nick Pivetta, through the first 2 innings, has allowed 1 hit and just a couple base runners. So we're at the top of the 3rd, nobody out. The count is no balls and 2 strikes to Sierra, and we're in a rain delay. And while we sit here and wait for the rain to pass, you can sit back and enjoy an edition of Phillies Clubhouse. breaking up. Let's hope they're breaking up as we go back inside the ballpark. The Phillies have taken the field behind Nick Pivetta. Again, a reminder, the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Sierra, the number 8 batter for the Miami Marlins. And Pivetta's already concluded his warm-up tosses, so he's ready to go. A few of the Phillies relievers have to head back to the bullpen. There is Sierra, and Lopez, the pitcher, the fellow pitcher, is behind him. So Pivetta's going to throw a couple more pitches. Not too much has happened so far in this ball game. Odubel Herrera has been picked off at first base. That was really the only eventful thing from a Phillies standpoint. And for the Marlins, Derek Dietrich began the game with a single to right center field and then was wiped away on a fielder's choice, and the inning ended without any issues with a fly ball to center field. Nick Pivetta has struck out 1 through the first 2 innings. And Sierra has the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The Marlins acquired him in the Marcell Ozuna deal. He is just 22 years old.
Are you surprised that the Cardinals traded Tommy Pham?
Very surprised. They said it came down to money because he did not sign that contract that they offered him last year, and I think they were leery about what he was going to ask for. No balls and 2 strikes to Sierra, and the pitch from Pivetta. A breaking ball tops left to the mound. They're going to have to hurry, and they will not get him. All right, so we waited all that time, and that is what we got. An infield hit. I don't know if Franco had a better opportunity at that.
Yeah, you saw Nick just right there. It looked like he was telling Franco, I didn't hear you. And you see McCall, he's yelling for it. I got it. I got it. And, you know, Nick, I don't even think if McCall fielded it. I mean, look, he's 2 steps past the base.
Well, now Lopez is 1 for 16 this year, and the 1 was a base hit against the Phillies. Or I should say 1 for 16 in his career, and 2 for 8. 1 for 16 in the minor leagues, 2 for 8 in the big leagues. One of those 2 was against the Phillies as a pinch hitter.
Well, I'm assuming he's going to bunt here.
Yeah. He does square. And he bunts it in the air, foul, back into the Hall of Fame club.
Pretty uneventful rain delay.
Very uneventful. And he bunts another one in the air. Well, I guess you keep throwing him fastballs.
I would think you'd throw it maybe a little higher and see if he'll foul another one off or bunt through it. The last thing you hope is that he doesn't throw a breaking ball and give him a chance, you know, unless they think he's swinging.
Which he is, and they throw a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. And a fastball in the outside corner. And a called 3rd strike. 1 out here in the 3rd. It's hard to believe, but there's just 2 authentic fan nights left in the season. And our next one is the Red Sox. And it's almost sold out. Go to Phillies.com/authenticfan to grab your specially priced tickets and free stuff before they're all gone. And now with 1 away, back to the top of the order with Dietrich. Runner goes, pitch is taken for a strike, throw to second base is in time, right off the top of the helmet, as Drupal Cabrera just tapped the coconut as he went it to second base.
I think a great throw by Alfaro, great tag, but I think we're going to get a little help from Mother Nature. Watch the slide here. kind of just hit and stopped.
That's a pretty good block of the second base bag, too, by Cabrera.
Well, he's a salty veteran. He knows how to do those things, but another caught stealing by Alfaro.
Yeah, that's the 19th base runner that Alfaro has caught this year. And that leads all major league catchers. Off the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Dietrich singled his first time up on a ball that was misplayed in right center field. Curveball. I should say slider. That one was at 85, so it's 1-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pivetta. And then, of course, the caught stealing sandwiched right smack dab in the middle. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's the Phillies nothing and the Marlins nothing. And Greg Dobbs was such a big part of that team and a handful of others as well. His bat off the bench was a huge weapon for Charlie Manuel. And then, of course, he got some time playing third base and first base and a little outfield as well. We talk about the 2008 World Championship, and sometimes people ask about individuals, but in reality, that was a team effort on so many fronts. And Greg is here with his family and standing by with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, and it's great to see him, too. And you look like you could still play, to be honest with you. Welcome back to Philadelphia. It's got to be great to be back for the weekend, right?
It's great to be back home, and I mean that in all sincerity. I'm texting friends and family and people that I know we're coming back here, and the phrase I used was back home. It literally, we feel like we're coming back home. This was our extended family for 4 years. I may look like I can play, but I definitely don't feel like. There's a lot of miles on this big rig right now. So, but I appreciate it very much. It's good to be back.
Well, everyone will be back this weekend, or just about everybody from that 08 team. And I know from a fan's perspective, everyone is so excited to see you guys back together and get a chance to once again thank you for what happened 10 years ago. Is it hard to believe it's been 10 years?
It's incredibly hard to believe that the time has flown by so quickly. To think that that was 2008 and we're now into 2018. It just goes to show you how precious time is. I think it's going to be great for us to also give back that thanks to this great city and to the fans and to this organization that took a chance on guys like myself, guys like Jason Worth and others, for Pat Gillick and everybody to put together that team and the ownership to put together that team for that amazing stretch. I think it's going to be reciprocal for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that year, because it was such a special year. When did you guys in that clubhouse get the sense that something special was happening? The team obviously was in the postseason the year before, but now in 08, it just felt different, I think. When did you guys feel that?
I want to say right after the All-Star break in 2007, you alluded to the year before. 2007, I think, was when we all could sort of look each other in the eye when we'd walk into that clubhouse, especially after the All-Star break, and say, you know what? I think we've got something here. We can play. We can hang with the best. Love the rivalry with the Mets. There's no better rivalry, right? And so that's, I think, when we started to believe. Making that run August and September in 07, I think really ingrained that in us, and really it sort of proved us it's one thing to walk the walk and talk the talk, but it's another thing to actually go out there and do it and have that experience of winning, coming back, believing in ourselves, and playing at such a high level. That catapulted us to 2008, 9, 10, and 11.
You know, when I think back to 2008 and I think about what you were able to do for this team, it seemed like every time they needed that clutch hit, you were there to come off whether you were in the starting lineup or coming off the bench, you were able to get that hit. What do you remember? I know if I asked you your best memory, it's going to be sometime in October, but what do you remember maybe like midway through that season? Does something jump out at you that you think, man, that was 2008 in a nutshell? Is there anything?
There's many things, obviously. One was, I remember a team meeting that we had early on in the year in Cincinnati that I think's been written about before. It was a closed-door meeting that we got together as players, and we discussed where we were going and what was going on and what we needed to do to get back to the postseason, because we'd had that taste in 2007. And then it's really just a wave of things that I remember. I mean, I remember Howard and his season that he had, Chase, the year that he had, hitting 30-plus homers and over almost 120 RBIs, Jimmy following up on the NL MVP of 2007. The amazing performances we got out of Blanton, Moyer, Cole. I can't really go to any one thing because it was such a team effort. I mean, to be quite honest, right? We had Jenkins comes in, right, from Milwaukee, who was absolutely clutch. Burrell. I mean, it was such a team effort that I really can't put it on any one person. We did it together as a collective, and that's why this weekend I think is going to be so much more special, because I can't remember the last time we're all in the same room together. So this is going to be really neat.
And one final question before I let you go. Charlie Manuel was just the perfect man to man that ship, was he not? What made him so good?
The quintessential player's manager. Everybody throws that term around, right? And that axiom around very, very easily and simply. He truly was the player's manager. Saw him today in the hotel, in the lobby of the hotel, and we hadn't seen each other in 4 years, and we picked up right where we left off. That's what Charlie Manuel is. He was the embodiment of this club, and it starts from the top. Great managers lead great people, and they mold great people, and that's what Charlie was.
Well, Dobbs, that's what this weekend's going to be all about. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Enjoy yourself. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, back to you.
All right, Murph, pretty quick inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We're heading to the top of the fourth in a scoreless ball game. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery's new latest scratch-off Neon. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. And by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Brian Anderson leads off the 4th inning in a scoreless game, and he takes a breaking ball. Anderson popped out to Franco his first time up. Phillies lead the division by a half game over the Braves, who already are out to a 4-1 lead over the Mets in the 5th inning. Slider, and it's 1-1.
Mets haven't had a good couple days, have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't had a good couple of weeks, months. But that series against the Nationals really didn't go all that well. Fastball, that's a good live fastball at 94 miles an hour. To the right side, knocked down by Santana. On the Major League scoreboard, Cincinnati and Washington are in the 4th inning, and the Nationals lead at 7-2 already. You know, the Reds went into Detroit and got beat up by the Tigers after the 4-game series against the Phillies. Sometimes you just can't figure this crazy game.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of 162 games. You know, nothing against football and all that, but you know, you have a good run in football, you're making the playoffs. You have a good run in baseball, you're still in last place.
Yeah, take a look at the Cincinnati Reds. Are a prime example of that.
What, they have the second best record in the National League since June?
When we were there last week, it was the best record. Now, because they've lost a few, it has dropped down. As Real Muto singles to right field. And Justin Bour is coming up.
That's why it's so easy when you're not playing to panic. You know, they lose 3 out of 4 in Cincinnati. Oh my gosh, let's panic. What's wrong with this team? They can't win, blah, blah, blah. Right? Yeah, you go to Boston, you win 1 out of 2 in Boston. Had a chance to win both games. Really, the players and the coaches, managers, they're the only ones that don't panic.
The dirt gets away from Alfaro. The throw to second base high into center field. And
Wow.
Real Muto will stop at second. That was a nice play by Odubel.
Yes, it was. Didn't think you'd get a bad hop in the outfield. Wild pitch, pass ball.
Wild pitch.
And I watch how far. Watch his throw. Now watch his hop though to Odubel. That thing took a big bounce up. That gets past him. They score. Real Muto scores easily. Got to be careful here. 3-0. You know this big man swinging.
Fastball, and it's in there, and it's 3-1.
Wow. I still haven't gotten to stump the fan thing yet.
You're going to get it.
I'm running out of players.
You are doing that, yes. I will agree with you on that. But you're right around 1, and then the other one you're not even close with, just so you know. Swing and a miss at a high changeup at 89.
I'm out of guesses. I'm sorry.
I'll give you some hits as we get closer to it. That one's hit well. Deep to right center field, and it is gone. Justin Bour with his 17th home run of the year, and the Marlins take a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. And Starlin Castro is coming up.
Is that a changeup? Or a two-seamer? It looked like it had a little run on it, but it just didn't run enough. Thought they might, after Real Muto takes second on a wild pitch, I thought they might, fall behind 3-0. He thought they might pitch around him.
Yeah.
I guess once you get 2 strikes, you think, all right, let's attack.
That was the issue for Pivetta the last time against the Reds. He gave up the 2 home runs. He had only given up 1 the previous 5 starts or 5 appearances in the month of June, or I should say July. Over to third base, charging is Franco. He's got it. Has to hurry, and in time, just in time to get Castro. John, you're right. That was a changeup that was thrown to Bour. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Yeah, that was a long home run. He got it out front.
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect numbers, isn't it? 104, 90, or what was the launch angle? 25.
25.
And what Smitty said the perfect launch angle was 27.
25.
25. The perfect swing.
Swing and a miss by Prado. And it's 0-2. Prado struck out looking his first time up. Curveball waved at. Yeah, that's the 4th strikeout for Pivetta. But Justin Bour has given the Marlins a 2-0 lead with a 2-run home run to deep right center field. Delivery. Nobody does it better. Last of the 4th inning. Top of the order is due up. Nick Pivetta, for the first 4 innings, has struck out 4, but he allowed the 2-run home run. And now Cesar will lead it off. John, you were mentioning before about panicking and things like that when you go through a baseball season. That's 162 games that you can't panic when certain things go wrong. And
yeah,
Gabe. There was a story today on Fangraphs by David Loria And in that, Gabe was quoted as saying, "We work hard to maintain an even keel during tough times. Our job inside the clubhouse is to be the rock to stay our course because we know that the tide will turn. Panic decisions rarely result in positive outcomes. Instead, we trust in what has led to our successes and our wins." And he said that early in the article that he's had to sort of reprogram himself from a player to player development and coaching, because he probably thought that every out that he made was drastic. Every mistake he made was detrimental. But now he says, as a manager, he kind of looks at it a little differently.
I just know as a player, when we were going through our run in '93, we went to St. Louis and just got demolished. I mean, it was ugly. And
Cesar loops it out to left field, and Dietrich will make the catch.
And, I don't think anyone thought, oh, my God, we're done. We just lost however many in a row to the Cardinals. We can't win. You don't panic. You got, what, 60-something games left or whatever it was at the time. So much can happen in a 162-game season that if you start panicking after, game 120, first of all, it's not healthy. I had some guy on social media blaming me now because Pavetta gave up the 2-run homer.
What did you do?
I said because you don't panic because you didn't play well in Cincinnati. Kiss of death is what it was quoted as.
Yeah, it was.
And my fault. I didn't mean to throw that pitch at that time.
2-0. Hoskins flied out to center field his first time up. 3 balls, no strikes.
It's amazing the power we have up here.
Very, very strong. Phillies with that throwback Thursday look, which includes Reese's powder blue spikes as well. That ball's hit sharply through the hole on the left side. A 1-out single for Hoskins, 3rd hit of the night for the Phillies. And here comes Odubel. Odubel reached on a bloop to left center his first time up, and then was picked off first.
I mean, he got picked off so bad. Shouldn't that be a caught stealing? Yeah. Look at those shoes, though. Carolina blue.
You know who would like those, John?
Roy Williams.
You know who else would like those?
Michael Jordan.
Your brother.
Yeah, he probably would. Although what he would need metal spikes for is beyond me.
He could find something to do with them.
Climb the mountains in North Carolina.
Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Well, yeah, he could do that. Now that is covering 70 to 90% of the uniform, right?
Yeah.
So 2 pitches to Odubel, a curveball and a changeup. Bring us to our Nissan upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. And 3 of the top players as far as infield hits go are in tonight's game. Cesar and Odubel are 3rd behind Ender Inciarte of Atlanta and Starlin Castro.
How about that one he had in Cincinnati with both feet off the ground?
Amazing. And then he followed it up with a similar one in Boston the next night. But the feet were on the ground. Going to see a lot of those jerseys around this weekend from the 08 team and even beyond. Doc will be honored on Saturday night along with Pat Gillick with the Phillies Wall of Fame. Another one fouled back by Odubel. It remains 0-2.
I like those units. I hope they make more of a return to the rotation.
I think these uniforms are beautiful.
I do too.
I like these. I like the cream ones. Fly ball left center field. Sierra was played in that area, so he comes in and makes the catch for the second out. Well, tomorrow when the Phillies take on the Marlins, the Flying Hawaiian will return to be honored pregame as he retires as a Philly as part of Toyota Phillies Alumni Weekend. The Shane Victorino Big Head collectible print given out to all fans. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets now. And Murph, we understand that Shane was out and about today in the city of Philadelphia.
He was indeed, Tom. You may have seen this on NBCS Philly if you follow them on social media, but Shane Victorino hit the ground running when he landed in Philadelphia. I guess I should say jumping and shooting. He visited the Shane Victorino Nicetown Boys and Girls Center of Philly. He spent some time with the kids playing some hoops and just generally having a good time. Of course, Shane donated a good deal of money to help refurbish that entire place. It is a beautiful place, so he wanted to stop by and see all the kids that were benefiting from that. So awesome as Shane, made a big difference in this city with in a lot of different ways, and it's part of the reason why he was so well loved in the city, and it's part of this team.
Yeah, you want to talk about somebody who gave back. I mean, a lot of guys did, but he really, he really put his money where his mouth was. I was there that day when they rededicated the facility some years ago, and it was an awesome day. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, Johnny, the Phillies are running into another pitcher that, at least through 3 2/3, is somewhat confusing the Phils. And a strike 3 call. Santana's down looking. Second strikeout for Lopez. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We'll head to the 5th inning here in Philadelphia. The Phillies down 2-0. and install your new workstation for free. Nobody does it better than who but WB Mason. John, we have another happy couple here at the ballpark. She said yes, just so you know.
She did. Have you ever seen a no?
I don't think I have seen a no. Have you?
At one game I was doing.
It was awkward.
It was a little strange, yeah. A little uncomfortable.
Did they reconcile?
Well, I think they stayed together. I just don't think I don't think she was interested in the marriage part as much as he was.
6-3 on the put out, and 1 out here in the 5th. Asdrubal Cabrera making his 2nd start at shortstop.
Now I was watching.
I think maybe.
Let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Now I was doing the game. I was watching a game in Houston when the foul ball went down the line and the guy jumped out of the way and it hit his girl.
Yep.
And she broke up with him.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Immediately.
He did not protect her valor.
He didn't protect her arm either where it hit her.
1 ball and 1 strike. But he was safe and sound.
I mean, look out for number 1, I guess. But,
Inside, 2-1. That was just a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that it was right on by Sierra. Magneuris Sierra with an infield hit his last time up. Here's Cabrera charging. Nice stretch by Santana. That's 5 ground ball outs for Pivetta. And 2 have gone to Cabrera at shortstop. Gabe's thought with having Cabrera start at shortstop tonight was obviously get his bat in the lineup, which is what they want. But Pivetta is essentially a fly ball pitcher in some ways. So maybe not as much action for Cabrera. And the action would be sort of right at him. So they feel like he can easily handle that. He was at one time, though, as gifted a shortstop as you will find in Major League Baseball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. Very acrobatic. Now, didn't he play with Vizquel?
I think he played after Vizquel.
After, but didn't he leave Seattle? Or didn't he take over in Seattle after Vizquel? And then he took over Cleveland after Vizquel?
You know what? You have a better memory about that stuff than I do. I would think that you're right if that's.
I don't know. You better look it up. I can't get the stump the fans question, that's for sure. If I remember this, though, good Lord.
Swing and a miss. 95 on that fastball. 5 strikeouts for Pivetta. And the side goes down in order. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phils in search of some offense when we get back. live before and after every preseason game. Bookend your birds with Eagles pre- and post-game live all season long right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Well, Cricket Wireless, something to smile about. Our buddy Jimmy Solomay was involved in a pretty neat reveal on the streets of Philadelphia. He and his buddies. There's Jimmy's with the glasses right there in the beard. He's going to play the role of Trey Burton in this. We've just given it away, though, with the ribbon on the bottom. We apologize for those who didn't know. And Jimmy with the toss. The reception is made. Bam! Took a lot of thought, John.
That is very, very creative.
I thought it was an excellent pass on Jimmy's part, too.
Good pass.
He didn't drop it. I guess we figured out that besides being in the barber shop, because he is a barber, he's also creating videos to be shown all over the country.
Creating memories for others.
I forgot to ask Jimmy what his buddies' names were, though. Guess we should have done that. Well, congratulations.
Soon to be mom and dad.
Yes. To a baby girl.
Baby girl. If you need any ideas for names, contact Greg Murphy.
Yeah. Matt and Alex. Matt spiked it. Struble leads it off. Phillies down 2-0. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The two-seam fastball. And Struble hit the ball right on the nose his last time up, but it went into a double play. I mentioned that Lopez is 22 years old from Venezuela. He's kind of an interesting kid. He is fluent in 4 languages. Spanish, English, Italian, and Portuguese. As Starlin Castro throws out Cabrera. His mom and dad were both doctors, physicians, or are physicians in Venezuela. His sister went to Harvard in Harvard Law School. So it's a bright family.
Yeah, you would think. Why he picked baseball is beyond me. That's the great thing about sports. You can go from a genius to
a super genius,
a dummy, and all have the same profession. I used to tease Doug Glanville that Ivy League, JUCO, same job.
How did he feel about that?
Well, he wasn't too happy with me.
Williams takes low on a breaking ball. It's 1-1.
I think he really thought his career was spiraling downhill after that.
It's so great, but it's so true.
Yeah. Four languages. But, you know, I in winter ball, we had a guy, one of our catchers who was bilingual, English, Spanish, played in the summer. Oh, wait, Nick. He played in the summer in Italy, summer ball in Italy, and he said that the languages were very similar.
Very similar. I actually took 4 years of Spanish in high school and then a year of Italian in college, and kept answering a lot of my questions in Spanish. That didn't go over well.
Yeah, you probably didn't pass that class.
I passed it. Not with flying colors, though.
No.
All right, Franco hit one sharply to the first baseman. His first time up.
Hit that same one right here. We got a first and third.
Pulls it foul.
Or a 2-run homer. Worked too. Yeah, when I was in high school, I took French. Like, what in my life would I have ever done that I needed to speak French?
You went to a French restaurant?
Yeah, those are plentiful in the Mountain State. You need to make a trip there, Tom. You will probably not find pate in any restaurant that I've visited in the great Mountain State.
That's foul and far. I mean, really far. Up near section 432. I think it went up the stairs.
Yeah, I thought it was going to make it to the upper deck, but it hit right below.
And a strike 3 call on the inside corner. He missed his spot, but still got part of the plate. 2 outs. Time now for the Citizens Bank Minor League Report. And congratulations to Mitch Walding. We know he had a tough go of it up here, and will be back at some point, you would think, but he was the International League's Player of the Month. In 22 games, he had .326 with 10 home runs and 26 runs batted in.
I'd have loved to seen him get a hit.
Yeah, hopefully that day will come soon. Alfaro bounces it foul. Roman Quinn's out in the on-deck circle. By the way, also congratulations go out to Dean Anna. Lehigh Valley won today 6-4, and Anna has extended his hitting streak to 21 games. Scott Kingery had the franchise record, or has the franchise record with 23, as Lehigh Valley's won 11 of its last 14 games. And 2 to Alfaro. Balls and 2 strikes to Alfaro. Swing and a miss. Got it with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 4 strikeouts for Lopez. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. So far, it's a rough go of it for the Phil's offense as we go to the 6th. Continue to swing it with consistency into the All-Star break. Michael has connected for power and production to start the second half and has delivered an average in the mid-300s for the month of July. Franco's launch angle has been optimal, and his blasts continue to aid the Phil's offense as they battle for first place in the East. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Michael Franco has had a good run of it, particularly in the month of July. And now as we enter August, Phillies hope that he can keep it going, and they hope the offense can get something going here. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Dietrich to lead it off for the Marlins, who lead the Phillies 2-0, 2 runs on 4 hits. And Dietrich fouls it down the right field line with lightning flashing in the background. And it's 0-1. And 2. Remains no balls and 2 strikes.
Got to get something going here. Get a quick inning. Get the offense back in. I'm assuming Roman Quinn will lead off, right?
I would think so, yeah. If they bring in Austin Davis now, they may not double switch because he'll only last the inning. There's a curveball spoiled right at the plate. Phillies actually sent out A to Ramos today. It was probably Ramos or Davis that they were going to send out, but they've decided to keep Davis for the time being. And a fastball right down the chute. That's the 6th strikeout for Pivetta. All right, John, time now for the Ram Truck Stump the Fans trivia question.
Nope.
Answer. What 2 Phillies are tied for second behind Ryan Howard for most home runs in one season against the Marlins?
Oh, in a season.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like career.
Oh.
Still don't know.
Ryan Howard had 9 in 06. As Anderson hits one down the third base line. Long throw for Franco, showing it off. And there are 2 outs. One player is active, one is inactive.
Chase?
No, good guess, but it's not Chase. They did it last year.
I have no idea.
How about Rhys Hoskins?
Wow.
He's one. And the other one did not get a chance to enjoy the success of the Phillies because he was traded right before that success began, but was a big part of this organization for a number of years.
No clue.
He played right field.
Well, I just saw it.
Bobby Abreu.
Had no idea.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
I named, I think, every player.
You did name a lot of players without anybody knowing. You threw out J-Roll.
I threw out Chase,
J-Roll, Worth,
Pat Burrell, Jason, Chooch. I had some more, but now I can't remember where I wrote them. Shane
Victorino, yeah, you had him. Ibanez, you had Ibanez.
I mean,
I thought that was a good guess.
I thought it was career. So that's why I never thought of Rhys. He takes a beating back there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
That's a lot of home runs against the team in a season, isn't it?
Yeah, Howard
Especially
was number
Reese.
1 with 9.
Especially Reese.
For half the season,
Got
basically.
caught up in August.
Real Muto fouls it back.
You have to wonder if, if JT Real Muto gets on base right here, does Austin Davis come in for Bour?
He might.
And again, that could be determined by where he's at. If he hits a double, do you walk Bour? This is why you don't want to be a manager. Too much thinking.
And a lot of forward thinking.
Yeah.
Pivetta thought he had him with that fastball. Take a look at pitch cast. It was farther inside than I thought. Three and 2.
Well, now what? I think it was slider.
I was going to say, I think you go right back to the breaking
Got to
ball.
go to slider. And hope Real Muto's looking for fastball.
And a line drive down the left field line, foul. The ball is smoked. And now Alfaro's going to walk out, as they may change it up a little bit.
Yeah, this could be one of those, I'm not giving a sign. Here's what we're going to throw. Here's what I want to throw. What do you think? Okay, I like it. If that's what you feel confident in, let's do it. Now, if he goes through a bunch of signs and he shakes off, not sure what that meeting was about.
And a fastball and a strike 3 called. 7 strikeouts for Pivetta through 6 innings. This is probably his last inning. This was a nice outing for Pivetta, despite the fact it's 2-0 Marlins as we go to the bottom of the 6th. we take a look at Nick Pivetta and his night tonight. Johnny, he allowed the 2-run home run, but his stuff has been better here tonight.
Yeah, really good. He made the one mistake to Bour, and Bour took him deep. But other than that, really good performance by Nick. A very positive performance for him moving forward into this season. And you got to right now, you just got to trust that the offense is going to come back and put some runs on the board. But that's our T-Mobile built for baseball, courtesy of Nick Pivetta, and a really good performance by Nick. Only the 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, no walks, big. But like I said, the one mistake, he got behind 3-0 to Bour. He worked it back 3-2, and Bour hits a homer. And other than that, though, really not many mistakes made by Nick.
Roman Quinn, 4 for 10 of that series against the Red Sox, takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. If the Phillies had the lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Pivetta probably would have gone back out there. Ball's popped up. Foul territory. Realmuto and Prado watch it go off the roof of the dugout. Randy revisiting some of the pitches that Nick threw. One ball and 2 strikes to Quinn. Assisted. A lot of weak contact today by the Phils.
Yeah, we haven't squared up many. Reese hit a couple hard.
Dave Cap, we're talking to Chris Young, Phillies assistant pitching coach. Rob Thompson there too.
Yeah, and this could be, you know, do we bring in a lefty to face Bour to lead off the inning? And then do we bring in a righty to face Castro and Prado following him?
Austin Davis looking over some things with Jim Gott. A little bow tie.
Makes you a little uncomfortable.
Three balls, 1 strike.
Cesar gets on here. I'm calling a Reese homer. A tie game. Get Nick off the hook.
Center field fly ball, and Sierra in shallow center puts it away. 2 outs. MLB At Bat is your #1 Philadelphia Phillies app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get the Phillies home screen icon and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. There's a liner to deep left field. Good call, Johnny. A home run for Rhys Hoskins, and the Phillies are finally on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 22nd home run, 71st RBI. It's a shame that Cesar didn't get on, but it's still 2-1.
Well, that wasn't, didn't take long to get out of here, did it?
No.
But you could tell his first at bat, you could tell he's seen the ball well off of Lopez. The second at bat, he hits that sharp single to left field. And this one here is just another, just a beautiful swing. I mean, you see a pitcher 3 times and you hit without the barrel all 3 times. I don't know how much longer Lopez is into this game, but I would almost guarantee you if the Marlins don't score, he won't face Reese again.
Two for 3 now for Hoskins.
Follow him up, Odubel.
Odubel has seen a lot of changeups recently. One and two. Fourteen extra base hits since the 22nd of July. That's number 1 in Major League Baseball. Odubel fouls it back. Down with a high changeup on a foul tip, and that's the 5th strikeout for Lopez. Phillies get a run on the home run by Hoskins. We played 6. We'll head to the 7th. It's a 2-1 ball game. Two-run home run gave the Marlins their only runs. Rhys Hoskins' solo home run gave the Phillies their only run. As we go to the 7th inning, Nick Pivetta is done tonight. He was solid, though. 6 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. He'd probably still be out there if the Phillies had the lead, but his spot came up, so he had to be pinch hit for. As Rhys settles into left field, it's a nice round of applause from the Phillies faithful. And Austin Davis will come on, who pitched a scoreless inning his last time out. That was against the Red Sox. And he's on to face Bour. Gabe talked today as Bour his last time up.
Nick got behind 3-0, worked the count back to 3-2, and a changeup that just didn't get to where he wanted it.
That was a giant home run replay as Drubel over on the left side is under this one, and he makes the catch, one away. So talking to Gabe today, they now have 3 left-handers coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
They have Davis, who's done a really nice job. They have Aaron Loop, who they just picked up for the Blue Jays, and Adam Morgan, who just came off paternity leave. And just asking him how he was going to use them, he said that he felt like Davis could be used against lefties and righties. He has shown that he can be used against lefties and righties. He said he thinks Morgan can too, but they match Morgan up in some ways with his slider. Loop right now is going to be used, and this may not stay this way, but at least for the time being, primarily against lefties. And they're going to work on seeing how he does against righties and lefties. Over to third base. That's a fair ball behind the bag. A flip by Franco in time. What a beautiful play by Maikel Franco. Now there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. That is our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Yeah, you have to get it in. A good play by Franco too. And you mentioned Starlin Castro, one of the leaders in infield hits. He hits that ball down the line. Watch Franco circle, get in good throwing position, get his momentum going toward first base, and see how he circled that ball? That's perfect. We know how strong and accurate arm he has, and that's our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Does she feel the need to have to? You think I can remember that part?
Well, I think
brought to you by your local Hyundai
as
dealers.
we get older, Christine is just trying to help us along. You haven't been around for a week, right? You've been spending some time soaking in the sun.
I got to hear Ben read that. Or I'm sure Ben recited it. He didn't need the
people helping people, John.
Yeah. Thanks, Christine. I just all of a sudden feel dumber.
Prado fouls it down the right field line.
The only thing with Adam, if you want to use him against lefties, I think it takes away what I think is his best pitch, and that's his changeup.
Well, I think that's why he feels like he can use lefties and righties. Over to third again, Franco again. And again with a nice crisp throw across the diamond and a quick getting for Austin Davis. That's 8 pitches for the lefty to get out of the 7th. It's time to stretch. We'll move to the bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Marlins. Pablo Lopez, the starter for the Marlins.
Yeah, he's been really good. Changed speeds real well. Kept the Phillies hitters off balance. Made pitches when he needed to. You saw the fielding getting that double play off the bat of Asdrubal Cabrera. But Oh, called third strikes for a guy that's not overpowering pitcher. There you see the numbers: 87 pitches, 6 innings, 5 hits, only the 1 run, a pickoff, a double play helped his cause.
I think it's a good point that 3 strikeouts, 3 are looking. And now you face this Marlins bullpen, which there's certain guys in this bullpen that are very difficult to deal with. And Conley against lefties has been difficult to deal with. Bear Claw, Steckenrider. They no longer have Brad Ziegler. He is back with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I think this is a good. I think this is Carlos's best side, right-handed. So might be doing a favor by bringing in Conley to face Carlos.
Santana takes a strike. Over to shortstop, big hop for JT Riddle. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And buy Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Hello, John Kruk and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. The start of Toyota Alumni Weekend. And the Phillies trail at 2-1. As Asdrubal Cabrera leads it off, which should be bats with 1 out. Cabrera is 0 for 2. Swing and miss.
Kid has a good arm, though, Conley.
It didn't work out as a starting pitcher.
I don't know why. He's got three good ones.
Well, he just threw 3 good ones to Cabrera, and he strikes out. 2 outs here in the 7th. Well, celebrate the 2008 World Series champions during Toyota Phillies Alumni Weekend. Tomorrow, Shane Victorino officially retires as a Phil. Saturday, it's the Wall of Fame induction, the Toyota Wall of Fame induction. And then Sunday, thanks to the good folks at Toyota, we salute the 2008 team. It's the Brad Lidge Bobble figurine, free to all fans. There are some seats still available by going to Phillies.com.
So they make up, what, 60, 70,000 of those Brad Lidge bobblehead?
Yeah.
Or figurines or whatever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Make everybody happy.
What a nice man he is.
Yes, he is. I listened to some of your podcasts today on Phillies Clubhouse. Pretty good.
Yeah, well, you know, he has his own radio show where he basically is the show for what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Pretty much. He and Casey Stern is on as the co-host, but he's not always on. 2-1 pitch to Williams outside.
Yeah, you got to figure fastball's coming here.
Got a fastball 3-2. And a nice tail on it. Since the 1st of July, the Marlins bullpen has an earned run average of 6.23. So despite the fact they have some good arms, they've given up some runs.
Well, that's why I said in the open, you know, you have to take advantage of weak pitching. And, Look, that we understand that this is the weak point of the Miami Marlins. You know, and a lot of it is they're young.
Correct.
And they're trying to figure it out. So you have to take advantage of that youth before they do figure it out.
Ball 4, Williams walks. And that brings Mike Kell to the plate. Were they getting on the home plate umpire, David Rackley, on that one?
I can't tell if it's someone in their dugout or someone in the crowd. It looked like it was in, didn't it?
It did look like it was in, yeah. Well, there's no righty up for Franco, so he'll bat against Conley. He has 5 hits against him.
He just hit himself in the head.
Yeah. Trying to loosen things up a little.
Clear the vision.
1 ball and 1 strike. Little spinner out toward right field. That's going to be caught by a sliding Brian Anderson. Yeah, the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. Brian Anderson got a good jump and hung up there enough for him, and he was able to corral it for the last out of the 7th.
I'm calling a Reese homer.
Good call, Johnny. Well, Toyota turning point. The Reese Hoskins home run was part of that, but it's also the in-game box score for the Phils. They haven't really managed a whole lot beyond the Reese home run.
No.
And they trail at 2-1.
No, we had a runner picked off, hit into a double play. And, you know, really, besides Reese, the only one that's putting good swings on him.
Phillies have scored now 11 runs in the last 6 games, counting tonight.
Yeah, I'm not very good at math, but that's less than 2 a game, right?
It is less than 2 a game.
That ain't going to work.
Ground ball right side. Cesar with a glove side stab. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Must be cleaning the grill somewhere, John.
I hope. Let's hope that's nothing else other than a little grill cleaning.
Sierra shows bunt.
Maybe they're smoking ribs out there. Maybe that's Bour. Nope.
If we had the bull cam set up, we'd be able to find out what he's doing right now. One ball and one strike to Sierra, who is 1 for 2. 1-2.
I don't think he sees lefties well.
I just think it's too late to call timeout again. This is the 3rd time this week that that's happened. Got him. A foul tip. Now Farrell hangs on. 5 up, 5 down for Davis.
Yeah, breaking ball to Sierra right there, and we mentioned it. He's got a nice pull off going against the lefty. So why would you even think about throwing anything in?
There's Steckenrider warming up with the bullpen. It'll be Steckenrider and Bearclaw. Yadiel Rivera will be the pinch hitter. By the way, the playing field looks fantastic. The grounds crew did a tremendous job with the concerts last weekend. 2 sold-out, jam-packed shows. You have a little marking where the stage was, but that's it.
Billy Joel and
the Eagles and James Taylor.
Yeah, sweet baby James.
Vince Gill was handling most of the vocals for the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah. Carl, did you attend? Carl Graver, did you attend the Eagles concert? No? Bouncer to shortstop. Easy play for Cabrera. Easy inning for Davis. Tip of the cap to that young man. 6 up, 6 down. He got 4 groundouts along the way. All right, down to the bottom of the 8th inning we go. Phil's down by 1. Honda dealers. Heard of your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEF-NOW or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Last in the 8th inning, the Phillies will send Jorge Alfaro, and Andrew Knapp will be the pinch hitter against Drew Steckenrider. Alfaro fouls the first one off the net at the top of the Phillies dugout. Sir Anthony Dominguez warming up in the bullpen. Oh, 2.
See the outfield for the Marlins and no doubles defense. Man, are they deep. Dietrich's what, 2 steps from the warning track? Sierra in center field, probably 4 steps from the warning track, and Anderson in right, two or 3 steps from it. And the catcher gets another put out.
Alfaro strikes out for the first out here in the 8th inning. With a 1 away, let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Brought to you by the University of Maryland, University College. It's the Major League Notebook, and the best player in baseball is going to miss a little time. Mike Trout is listed day-to-day with a right wrist contusion. It's only the 2nd time all season that Trout has not been in the starting 9 for the Angels. He hurt the wrist while sliding into third on a stolen base attempt, but he did tell reporters today that he hopes he will only miss a couple of days, maybe be back by the weekend. And new Yankees left-hander Jay Happ is also headed to the disabled list. He is the 2nd player in Major League Baseball this year to head to the DL with hand, foot, and mouth disease. He contracted the infection and is currently being kept away from the rest of the clubhouse, which is smart to do with that kind of thing. So highly contagious. So he is removed. He'll be out for at least 10 days as he has hit the DL. Noah Syndergaard was the other player in baseball that had hand, foot, and mouth disease coming out of the All-Star break. So that is your Major League Notebook, guys.
It's usually what happens when you come out of nursery school or preschool or kindergarten or 1st grade. Sometimes you come down with that.
I've never heard of it.
Really? Fouled away. It's 1-2.
Now, was Trout sliding head first?
You know what? I didn't see it.
Because isn't that how he heard it before?
Yeah, it's head first into second the last time.
He needs maybe send him a little message. Maybe, you know, feet first is probably the best way to go.
Swing and a miss. And Knapp strikes out. 2 outs. Tommy Hunter wearing old 96. Warming up in the pen. He gave his number 40 to Wilson Ramos.
For any?
I don't know if he got anything, but
any trade-off?
No, I don't know if he did. But he took a look at the list of numbers that were available, and he decided to take 96.
Interesting.
There's a bunt up the third base line.
I mean, couldn't he have waited until Ramos gets off the DL?
Well, Ramos is here kind of working out, so I guess they had to put a number on him. You got to get used to it, John. He's got 2 months left in it. One ball and 1 strike.
Got a triple to right center. A lot of room out there. Or a walk and a homer.
That'd be beautiful.
Look at that vast space out there. I can't even draw. TV's been on the fritz over here.
It's not plugging out anymore.
No.
Three balls, two strikes to Cesar here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Phil's down 1. And Cesar fouls it away to stay alive. Feet first slide for Trout, by the way, John.
Good. So how did he hurt his wrist?
He banged his right wrist into the ground twice as he went in. And the out-of-town scoreboard, they're in the top of the 9th inning. Atlanta's still hanging on to a 4-2 lead over the Mets. Another fly ball for Cesar. This one out to left field. So he has 4 fly balls tonight, 3 to left, 1 to center. And the Phillies go down in order in their half of the 8th inning. 8 in the books. We move on to the 9th inning. It's 2-1 Marlins. To take on the Phils for a 2-game interleague series at Citizens Bank Park on August 14th and 15th. Both games are scheduled to start at 7:05. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. The much anticipated start of the Red Sox-Yankees series up in Boston. Well, it hasn't gone the Yankees' way. The Red Sox got 3 home runs, or have gotten 3 home runs from Steve Pearce. They lead the Yankees 14-5.
Yankees had a lead there, at the 4th or 5th inning, I think.
Didn't last long.
No, that you knew that offense wasn't going to be kept down for that many games. Like the Phillies, like Arrieta and Aaron Nola did to him.
Tommy Hunter is out of the bullpen to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning, or excuse me, top of the 9th inning, and his responsibility is to keep this at a 1-run game after Austin Davis pitched 2 scoreless innings.
Now, is this Tommy's first appearance with number 96?
First one with the old 96er. 0-2. There's a base hit up the middle for Dietrich.
Gotta be careful.
Every time a Phillies pitcher throws a pitch of 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia.
Well, the way we're swinging the bats tonight, you can't let him score another one, I don't think.
No, I agree with that. Isaac Galloway is on the pinch run for Dietrich. 10 years in the minor leagues for Galloway. Make his major league debut the other day.
Got a base hit. Tell you what, that's some perseverance, man. 10 years in the minor leagues. Got to give this young man a lot of credit.
And drafted by the Marlins. Drafted in 2008. And he stayed with the Marlins the entire time. He first went to AAA in 2015. At that point, he's thinking, right, I'm right on the doorstep. .262 this year in AAA with 9 homers and 30 runs batted in. .947 games in the minor leagues. 947.
That's a lot. That's a whole lot. Like you said, that's just a guy who loves the game. I mean, you have to figure after probably 5 or 6 years, you probably think I'll never see the big leagues again.
Here's that last pitch, which is just off the outside part of the play. That's really close. Throws a cutter, and it's 2-1. He's going. Pitch is hit out to center field. And a deke by Cesar. And Odubel runs it down. But it's far enough that Galloway can get all the way back. Ball's hit pretty well.
You ain't kidding. Galloway's off and running, and about as far as you could hit one and keep it in the ballpark here. Good job by Galloway too. Rounded the base, retouched. Played 10 years in the minor leagues. I'm sure you picked up a lot of fundamentals. Man, that's still fascinating to me. What did Chris Coase play? 9?
It wasn't 10, but yeah, it was probably close to that.
It was 8 or 9 for Coasty, right?
Ground ball left side. Franco has it, goes to second, and they get the lead runner. Two outs. Well, Justin Bour has provided us with our W.B. Mason delivery of the game, John.
Yeah, he did. Like a changeup from Nick, it just stayed middle. That is away, 2 more inches away. He hits it off the end of the bat, and it's probably a fly ball to center field, but he didn't, and he did. And that's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. So far, Tom.
Yeah, I hope there's another big one in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ball, no strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies have 3 infielders on the right side, which is the normal setup for Bour. Fly ball left field, not deep, playable for Hoskins. And now it's time for the Phils to go to work in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tommy Hunter pitches a scoreless top of the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Marlins 2 and the Phillies 1. $50 million.
Take either one.
Yes, you would.
We should get tickets.
Powerball is Wednesdays and Saturdays, John.
Me, you, and Murph. We should get tickets.
Well, Mega Millions is Tuesdays and Fridays, so we can get that one first. We'll get the 50, and then we'll parlay that into the 203.
Win $50 million first.
Yeah.
And then buy $1 million worth of tickets.
We have to be assured success at that point, right?
Well, you'd think you'd win something, but Rojas is in at first base for Bour.
Galloway's in at left field for Dietrich.
There goes my dang screen again.
Bear Claw is in to pitch for the Marlins. 10 saves, 15 opportunities. Opposition hit .356 against Bear Claw in the month of July. 3 home runs.
Well, let's make it 4 or 1 in the month of August. They didn't play yesterday, did they?
No, they rained out yesterday.
No.
So Hoskins is 2 for 3.
It's not like we root against people, but you know, sometimes we kind of have to.
Sometimes we have to, definitely. First pitch outside.
Tell you what, I cannot see them throwing a pitch middle in to Reese right now.
I think that's the way they've been pitching him this last week or so. Is just pitching him away, away, away. One ball and 1 strike to Hoskins. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Try to get that hanging breaking ball again and tie this baby up.
Almost came back and almost hung up there for him.
Man, that thing's 4 more inches on the plate. He might have tied this baby up.
3 balls and 1 strike to Hoskins. And ball 4. A base runner for the Phils here in the home 9th inning. And Odubel Herrera is due up. Coming up after the ball game, it's Phillies postgame live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. The guys will talk about the outing by Nick Pivetta in tonight's ball game. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Hoskins' 22nd home run. The struggles of the Phillies offense. Now, Gabe talked to us about this today. He said that he may do this late in the ball game from time to time. He said most notably with Roman Quinn or with Scott Kingery. And that's a pinch run for Hoskins if they're down by 1 or if they're tied.
Well, they're down by 1.
You're right. And they're hoping to be tied.
Hoping to be up 1 with Odubel going deep here.
Odubel takes the first pitch high. It's 1-0. And Gabe talked about, he goes, I recognize that we may get to a point when we do this, or if we do this, where Reese's spot comes back up again. He said, but I'm going to try to go for it if I have a chance to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation. Look, they're playing no doubles defense, so they're deep. You hit a double here, they're going to get to the ball quicker if you hit one in the gap, and you need speed to score.
Odubel out in front. Starlin Castro is under it. 1 out. And Carlos Santana will be the hitter. Neshek starts to loosen. Outside to Santana, 1-0.
I just watching Bearclaw pitch. It looks like if you're patient enough, you will get a good pitch. He'll let you work ahead in the count if you let him.
May have been ball 2. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Santana. That was a better pitch than I thought. Probably not the one you want to go after, though.
No, not try to pull it. It was headed toward our old friend Greg Murphy.
Kind of late again, but he was taking a long time. Braves have won against the Mets 4-2. And Washington leads Cincinnati 9-2. The 1-2 pitch coming to Santana. And a little tapper left of the mound. They're not going to get anybody. And the Phils have first and second with 1 out. And as Grubel Cabrera is coming up. All right, time to make your presence known.
That was a beautiful thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Hit one off the end of the bat, gets past the pitcher, and got your shift for you.
It's Struble, 2 for 13 against Bear Claw. His numbers are excellent here at this ballpark. In 24 games, hitting .387.
But he's not facing our pitching.
Well, that is true also. Runners lead off. Tying runs at second. In the dirt, 1-0.
I got in trouble for that when I came here. Got traded here.
Yeah.
They said you hit 3 whatever.
I remember you saying this.
And I said, yeah, but I'm not facing our pitching. They didn't like it.
The pitchers didn't?
Not our pitchers, no. But it's time to start new numbers.
2-0.
That's what I mean. I mean, you know, just watching Bear Claw pitch, he will let you get ahead in the count. And now it's pick your pick. You know, you could set on, Struble could set on whatever pitch he wants. Whatever he thinks he's going to throw, you just set on it and wait for it. But make sure it's a strike.
That's not a strike. Nick Williams on deck.
You got to take right here, right?
Yes, I think so.
Get the winning run at second if he.
Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. And Juan the A-base is heading out to the mound to calm down his pitcher.
And this is where Nick has to be very smart. You can't go up there over aggressive. You gotta think as a hitter right now, just by watching him pitch to these first 4 hitters of this inning, that he hasn't gotten ahead, so you can be patient with him. And even if he does get ahead, you still have that. You know, he hasn't thrown 2 strikes in a row yet, I don't think.
That's a good point. Little swig of coffee for Gabe. The bases are loaded. Nick does not have a career walk-off prior to this year. And the first pitch to him. Way inside, it gets by him. And Kingery just playing it cautiously at third. It came back so fast.
That thing was like, it went in 95. It came off the wall 100. I'm surprised it didn't get past that. I mean, look, how do you do this? Wow. He just threw one behind the guy. There ain't nothing he can do. Nothing Scotty could do.
And now the umpires are coming in. The Phillies think that it may have grazed him.
No, that baby missed him. I don't know about. I mean, you know, unless Nick said something, but if this is a challenge to see if it hit him, man, last thing you want is to give Bear Claw some time to think about everything.
Take a look at it again, John. It's really hard to tell. Did it hit his back pocket?
I don't think so. It didn't look like anything on Nick moved.
Didn't look like it there.
Yeah, I just, you know, unless Nick looked in and said, yeah, that hit me.
mean, it sounded like it hit something before it hit the wall that ticked, but it must have been the dirt.
Fans here looking up at the board, and they're all cheering like it hit him, but I don't. Well, we'll find out here directly from Larry Vanover, right?
Yeah, Larry Vanover is the crew chief. He's to the right.
I just don't like giving Bearclaw a lot of time to regroup, you know?
Yeah, and to throw some pitches here.
Yeah, he's really scuffling with his mechanics. And, you know, like I said, unless Nick looked at Gabe and said, hey, it got me. That hit me. Let's take a look. And that's why they're challenging. But I think I let Bearclaw stay out there.
Larry Vanover was a little emphatic about it, wasn't it?
Emphatic.
One ball and no strikes to Williams. Phillies down by 1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. September 12, 2017 against these Marlins in the 15th inning. RBI double for Williams, and that scored Aaron Altair. Sammy was gutsy to send him, and he got home easily. So no walk-off home runs, but a walk-off hit for Williams.
Take one of those, too.
Inside, 2-1. Kingery at third, Santana at second. Cabrera doesn't really matter. Two and two.
No matter what, you got to put this ball in play.
Yeah.
And take a chance they can't turn 2, but
get that run home to tie it and then move forward. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Williams. Outside, ball 3. Man, it's gutsy to take any kind of pitch with 2 strikes and the bases loaded.
I mean, it's breaking ball after breaking ball for Bearclaw.
26,000 plus on their feet. 3-2 with 1 out. And a little dribbler left of the mound. It's going to tie the game up. They're able to get Williams at first, but the ball game is tied. We're even at 2 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. An RBI for Nick Williams. And now Michael Franco.
Now, like we said, you got to put the ball in play and see what happens. Strikeout there is the worst thing that could happen. And once that ball got past Bear, I didn't even think of Bearclaw caught. I mean, he took that right out of the end of his bat. I mean, Prado makes a heck of a play to get Nick at first, but no chance at getting Kingery at home. And you'd think right here, the way Franco's swinging and walking, but
yep.
But how do you trust his command?
Well, that's true. That is true. Well, now if you're Franco, you got to be disciplined with the winning run at third and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning in a 2-2 game.
Here's where if you're Santana, you got to be ready for a wild pitch. I mean, it's just breaking ball after breaking ball now from Bearclaw. I mean, it wasn't that a 3-2 breaking ball to Nick?
Yeah, or changeup. It was something slow. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 balls, no strike. I can't imagine they're giving him anything good to hit. Last April was the last walk-off hit for Franco, a 2-run single to right against Jim Johnson of the Atlanta Braves. Two and 0 here at the bottom of the 9th inning. Fly ball, left field. It's deep. And it is gone! 3-run walk-off home run for Maikel Franco! The Phillies win it 5-2 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They decided to pitch to Franco, and the celebration ensues. Nothing better than that kind of look right there. A celebration. For the first time this year, the Phils, when trailing after 8, win a ball game as Maikel Franco's 3-run walk-off breaks a 2-2 tie, and the Phillies win it 5-2.
Well, we talked about it this entire 9th inning. Bour struggled with his fastball command. He went breaking ball seemingly every pitch, off speed to Nick Williams. Maikel gets ahead in the count. He sets on a breaking ball, and thank goodness he didn't miss it. You know the Braves are sitting there watching, and they're thinking, oh, you got to be kidding me.
What a great reaction from Maikel Franco.
You ready?
He knew it. Telling it to go. Telling it to go. Yes, sir. You know, at first you wondered if it had enough, and it just had enough to get out of the ballpark. And after celebrating with some seeds, he is down on the field with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, guys, and talking to the bullpen guys as well. You know, Mike, I just asked you if you were looking breaking ball there. It looked like Bour was really having trouble getting the fastball over. Did you eliminate that at that point?
I mean, yeah, I eliminated the fastball right away because in the first pitch he threw me slider. He threw for ball, but the fastball he threw just too wide, so I just sit down the breaking ball and I put a good content on it.
The bottom of this 9th inning is really kind of exactly the way this season has gone for you guys. You know, you wait around, and you're able to do just enough to get the job done. You were able to do that again tonight.
I mean, you know, that was an amazing game today. We fight it all. We fight it all. I know it's going to be tough. But on the 9th inning, 1-2, we down for 1 run. And we keep fighting, you know, like I said, not give ball, and we do a pretty good job today.
It's a great way to start this homestand in front of the home crowd. It's going to be a special weekend, and to continue to play well is so important for you guys.
I mean, it's amazing. We have to just keep it doing. Today it's over already. Tomorrow is going to be a new day, and we have to come in with the same energy and keep fighting again.
Maikel, congratulations on the walk-off. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. The Phillies win it 5-2. They scored 4 runs here in the bottom of the 9th inning, capped off by that beauty right there. Maikel Franco, a 3-run home run just over the flower bed in left field. And the Phils are still in first place in the National League East. We'll wrap it up right after this.